Hello. Welcome back to the podcast. We're on podcast 20. Last week, thank you guys for being patient. I didn't have a podcast. You know what? Everybody gets one, right? I've been incredibly consistent with this podcast, even through quarantine and everything getting crazy. But, I skipped a week last week. Just had some stuff going on. It's all good. I'm good. Everything's good. It was just one of those weeks where it was just everything happened at once. And I was like, you know what? Didn't have a guest lined up for the podcast, and so I was like, you know what? Let's just take a week off, do this thing right next week. So, and man, did we do it right this week. This week's podcast was hella fun. We have Kevin Maximus on. He is a director, writer, animator. He animated a short film recently, and it was, oh my gosh, I watched it. It was really funny. It's super relevant to what just life right now in the dating scene, and I thought that was really funny. And he's working on some new projects. Got to talk to him a little bit about that. We fell way off the rails at one point, started talking about space and Elon Musk and everything going on with that. So that was super fun. Honestly, just a really good time on this podcast. We just had a good time. And so I'm excited to share that one with you. This podcast was really, really cool. Thank you guys for being patient 1 week of no podcast, but we will be back to the regularly scheduled program every single Wednesday, new Once More with Feeling podcast, with creatives just talking about their creative process and just life and whatever I want. It's my podcast. I talk about what I want on my podcast. So there. Let's just get right into it. But I'm just excited about this one, and I felt like doing an intro. So here's the intro. Cool, roll intro.
Once more with feeling.
All right, we're here.
Dude, that's funky.
Thank you.
I like that.
Thanks, man. It was fun to make. It was one of those things where I was recording it and I just was like, I need a podcast intro, and so I just started making that, and that's what happened. Now I've stuck with it. So
That's fun. I'm gonna need you for some music on my next short. That'd be awesome.
let me know, dude. I do that. That's just, I record music.
I know. Yeah, Bella would mention that you're big into music. You guys are both big into music.
Yeah,
right?
man.
That's awesome.
That's like my main thing. That's my main gig. I tour with musicians and I record music. That's really what I do. And then this was like a thing of a quarantine project that's kind of evolved into taking over my entire life. So,
well, that's all. I mean, this quarantine. I mean, I get it. A lot of things came to a halt and whatnot, but to take this time, to do something with yourself creatively, or just anything to occupy yourself, I think is awesome. I think people that aren't taking that opportunity, it's odd. I mean, you gotta. You have so much, room to work with. I mean, why not try something new or do something that it's been on your bucket list or waiting list? And I know things are closed on and whatnot,
for sure,
but it's the little things, the little evolutions. You know what I mean? So that's awesome, man. Like I said, your spot looks tight. I wish I could sit down in there with you and kick it and
man.
Talk.
It's just, that's why I do the video portion too, because I feel like if people didn't at least see me, it would feel, I don't know. You got to feel what I'm trying to bring to you.
No, I feel you, man. I feel you. I mean,
I appreciate that.
I have some. Sometimes I'm like, do I want to be on camera? I mean, look at my beard. I probably shouldn't be on camera right now, but hey, I am anyway.
Dude.
But no, the people need to see. They need to put a face to the voice,
exactly,
and the cool tone. I mean, it's working for you.
Thanks, man. No, dude, I can't talk. The reason I've been wearing hats and stuff like that lately on the podcast and on the videos I've been making and stuff is it's not even to be cool. It's just like I had a real bad haircut, so a quarantine haircut.
I mean, I haven't given. I look like Castaway, Tom Hanks in Castaway right now at this point. Yeah,
you just got to get your Wilson.
I should be spearfishing.
Yeah,
I should be. Just 5 years later, that's what it feels like.
You got to get yourself a Wilson.
I was thinking if I give myself a haircut the other day. It's getting a little hot.
Dude, it is getting hot.
Top of the head.
It's getting hot, so I'm glad I shaved my head, but at the same time, now it's growing in like all one length across the thing. It's getting weird.
I'm rocking with 2 lengths. I got the top way longer than the sides, but it's all crazy, man. I just don't even know what to do. Yeah. I'm thinking about just buzzing it all off.
I feel like you can
keeping the beard and just going with the little buzz.
Yeah. See, that's the move, though. That's where I messed up. Is I buzzed my head, but I had the beard at the time, and I was like, all right, this is a move, right? Because I buzzed the head and I had the beard, and then on one day on a whim, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna shave my beard too, and I did it, and I looked like a freak. I looked like so weird because I had like no hair on my head.
I can't do both. I don't think I could do both. I don't want to buzz.
Man,
both.
You got a solid beard though, right there.
I appreciate it. It's a little scraggly. It's a little here and there.
Commendable,
you know. But I've just been I've been too lazy to trim.
Yeah.
I think that if I'm not going to give myself an actual haircut, I don't need to line it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Caveman Kev. That's what you should have me on as the actual
Caveman Kev. Dude, you know what though? I feel like everybody gets a pass because of like quarantine and stuff. You know what I mean? Like everybody's looking a little bit.
Well, honestly, my girlfriend gives me my haircut. She actually doesn't. She does an amazing job. We both tag team.
Oh, so nice.
I've had many opportunities to cut my hair. Yeah. It's just that I have. This is how I feel right now with the overall.
Gotta represent.
Yeah, the overall.
The insides. Gotta match the outsides.
With the way things are, I'm expressing myself, to the world. This is how I feel.
Yeah,
I feel just a little bit crazy.
Yeah,
you know.
I feel like as everybody does right now. I think that's appropriate.
Yeah, it's some interesting times, man. We are on the brink of a lot of things.
Yeah, it feels palpable.
Good and bad.
Yeah, good or bad, right? I feel like it could go worse. But, you know, it could go worse or it could get better. It's definitely palpable in the air right now, though. You know, where it's just like there's just something's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Not sure what, but yeah.
It's weird to say. But it's scary. It's because it's scary and it's also exciting at the same time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like but I'm interested to see where we come, especially obviously in November with the election. And this year's not even. It's not even close to being over.
Dude, it kind of feels like it though. It's weird because it's like time feels like it's moving super slow because of like everyone's stuck inside, you know. So it's like you're just watching paint dry. But at the same time, it's also like I feel like I looked up, and we're in the middle of July. Like
that is true. That is true.
But we're getting close to election time. Things going down. I don't know.
I mean, it's just a whirlwind of stuff. Whether it be political or just medical. Personal. I think there's just everything. It's just everything's coming to a head right now. It's a very very major time, a time mixed with a lot of emotion. So
and
I've tried to just take the time and relax and
chill out, man. But
get myself together.
Have you been working on any quarantine projects like you've been saying, or anything?
Yeah, so I'm really excited about my latest project that has not been filmed or animated in any sorts, but the pilot and the pitch deck is done, and that is something that I've dug my teeth into for the last 2 months. So probably the best thing I've ever written, I would have to say up to this point. And this is not the comedy short that you saw.
Okay.
I do want to do comedy. I just don't want to limit myself to a certain genre. So the comedy short that you saw is obviously going to act as a teaser for a pitch deck for an animated series that we want to sell called Sasquatch Stories. And that would involve the 2 main characters that you saw, Marty Gigantus and Leon the Owl.
Yeah.
And that was just a little glimpse into what that world would look like. But the second one, like I had mentioned, is drama, thriller, action.
Oh, okay. Is it still animated?
And okay. So one of my big idols is Genndy Tartakovsky.
Okay.
He did Samurai Jack.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I love Samurai
Dexter's
Jack.
Laboratory.
Oh,
and Primal, if you haven't seen that, and
No.
the Hotel Transylvanias.
Oh, wow.
Star Wars Clone Wars. So he's an amazing
Clone Wars. Okay.
animator.
Dang.
And I got a lot of inspiration for this new script from him. And as much as I want to see Sasquatch stories flourish, which it will, I have taken this project completely upon myself, which I'm proud of. It's a Kevin Dix original to its fullest.
Awesome.
So Sasquatch Stories, I split the birthing rights with a couple other buddies of mine, which is fine.
Yeah.
You know, that's
collaborative process.
creating, collaboration, obviously. But I'm proud of this one wholeheartedly because I did this on my own. I conceptualized it out of thin air, and I'm excited for people to see it when it happens.
That's awesome, man.
That's where I'm
Yeah. Do you animate as well? I know on the last credits I saw that you wrote and you directed it.
Yes, I wrote. So on the short film, I wrote, directed, and produced it. I did not animate it. We hired an independent animator that I had met through a production company.
Yeah.
A colleague through a production company I was working with early on when I moved out here, and he's an awesome guy. If you guys want to go follow him on Instagram, is what is it? Andy K at Andy K Animation.
Okay.
Awesome guy. Obviously, is amazing talent. I do draw, but I'm more I'm more into graffiti and stuff like that. And I have to learn more of the craft of animating cartoons and so on and so forth.
It's no joke. There's a lot that goes into that. I mean, I would be amazed if you said you could do all of it. That would be
yeah. I mean, but a lot of these guys can't. A lot of these guys can't. Genndy. I mean, you even think about Seth MacFarlane on Family Guy.
Is he animating as well?
So, yeah, I mean, his original. Yeah, I'm pretty sure his drawings, his original mock-ups of Peter and all that are directly from him.
Wow,
so
amazing.
There's a lot I need to learn.
Sure.
There's a lot that I'm learning, and there's a lot of props that I give to people that I'm able to sponge up some of that knowledge and some of that understanding of timing, anticipation, and things of that nature. Because I'm not anywhere near my peak, which is exciting. So
yeah.
But at the same time, I'm excited as well for myself because I can add my own flash.
Yeah.
And make it my own. So yeah, I'm excited about a lot of stuff. And the thing, I love live action. I started writing in live action and been on set and all that cool stuff. But the thing with writing and creating, I found with live action is just it's a little harder. It's a little more complex. With animation, I was able to literally take the reins. It was me and my animator. I didn't need I didn't need to worry about the camera being on set at a certain time or the lighting be right or someone maybe doing their lawn next door. You know what I mean? And I've been through all that, and it's hard, and not to have a budget right away. Animation, and not to say animation is cheap because it's not, but it gave me a lot more freedom and a lot more momentum to go into my work without without the complicated process sometimes of getting people on set and relying on more people.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of juggling.
It's amazing.
A lot of balls in the air when you have that many people that you, like you said, you have to come at a certain schedule whenever. I imagine it's more intimate when you're working with like you said, you and another animator just with your fingers in the clay, kind of getting it down. That's an interesting way to look at that, though. It's like you like writing, but going into this medium gave you more control, I guess, in that way. That's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah, and again, that's nothing even against animation to say that it's easy or not as complex. It's just for an independent filmmaker, I was able to get all my ducks in a row right away and tell the story my way without, again, just having to jump through a lot of different hoops. And props to all the directors and people that can do live action stuff. I mean, that, a friend of mine, Andrew Carter, who worked with Bella, your girlfriend at Paramount, he's an award-winning director for the LA Film Fest, and, props to him. He's a good friend of mine. I would love to learn more about it, even from him. Even on set, he amazes me how he's able to coordinate all this stuff on his own. So things I want to continue to learn, but I'm glad that I found my niche.
Yeah.
You know, I found my path to, again, tell stories in a way that I think is efficient and it's quality. So
Yeah, I've always found, honestly, I'm a huge fan of animation. Also, I always used to, and I grew up watching a lot of, I'm a total weeb, dude. I used to watch a lot of anime, and you know what's funny is, like, during quarantine, a lot of people fell back into Avatar: The Last Airbender. Great, dude. Just rewatched that one.
I have to watch that. I've recently finished. I mean, have you watched Naruto?
Yes. So I fell off a while back, but I restarted recently at the tuning exams. And now I'm where he's like at with Jiraiya and stuff like that. Dude, the tuning exams like was a level of intensity.
Amazing.
I wasn't even ready for it at the time when I started. I was like, whoa, this is legit. I forgot.
I mean, Shippuden, the series after, is just unreal. It's some of the best fighting choreography I've ever seen in my life. I mean, amazing story. And it's funny with Naruto, my buddy, his nickname is Booby. That's not his real name.
It's great. I love that.
Booby. Yeah, like Friday Night Lights, Booby Miles, but I'm pretty sure, well, obviously that was an older movie, so he didn't coin the name, but that's his nickname coming up. But anyway, he put me on that in high school, and ironically enough, I was too cool. I was like, what, anime? That shit is weak, dude. That is, what is that? No one wants to, I'm into, like, chasing the girls and not to say that he wasn't, but he was kind of ahead of his time.
Yeah.
And only a couple years ago did I start watching Naruto, and I burned through.
So good.
I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. It's amazing. And now I just finished Death Note, and he put me on
great.
Bleach.
Yeah.
One Piece.
Yeah.
He's huge in that in the anime. So those different styles I've been so glad to have been introduced to.
Yeah.
Especially for my own stuff. But I've been, even you talk about rewatching stuff, what we were talking about the other day is all the cartoons we came up with when we were kids.
Yeah.
Think about the golden age of cartoons.
Yeah.
It was like the 90s or 2000s. But even you had the stuff, but Dexter's Laboratory, Johnny Bravo, SpongeBob, Rocket Power, Rugrats,
Rocket Power, wiggity. Dude, yes.
Wild Thornberrys,
that was a great one,
Courage
too.
the Cowardly Dog, Scooby-Doo from the 60s. I was watching all that old stuff too, like the Jetsons, Flintstones.
Got Boomerang,
Coyote and Roadrunner. I mean, so many cartoons that I didn't, and it's funny that I fell into animation because it's crazy how many cartoons shaped our life as a kid. Like WB, what was that? Codename Kids Next Door.
Codename Kids Next Door. Dang, dude, you just took me back right now. That was so many at once. I was like, that's amazing.
Static Shock. I used to watch so much stuff. Teen Titans.
Titans was a great one,
crazy.
too.
I just rewatched. You know what I'm rewatching right now? Hey Arnold.
Oh, yeah. Dude, there were some episodes of Hey Arnold back in the day that freaked me out when I was watching it. There's some weird stuff that you could get away with in the 90s that you can't get away with.
The Halloween one where they go through the Central Park with the red scarf and the lady.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that always caught me, dude. But Monkey Man and the Stoop Kid. I mean, I was.
Kid's afraid to leave Stoop.
I mean, I just rewatched SpongeBob.
So good.
And I was laughing harder as a grown man than I think I did as a kid, and I was laughing hard as a kid. I was on the. Remember that one episode with the Patrick tries to get a trophy, and they're just in the kitchen. He's trying to put his hand on the lid. He's like,
the lid. Dude, it's so good.
I mean, just genius.
It is.
It's just genius.
I think the genius of SpongeBob specifically, a lot of those 90s ones, but specifically SpongeBob, I felt like it had this way of having this slapstick type comedy for kids, but then it had these really smart jokes that were written in that like a parent watching it isn't going to be like annoyed. And I think that is like really good writing for animation when a parent can enjoy it and have fun watching it, and a kid is also gonna laugh. Like the fact that you can cover all of that in one umbrella is pretty cool about animation.
I mean, what was the one joke? Oh yeah, SpongeBob's in the living room and he's watching like an algae sway or something. And it's, obviously
yeah, it's like supposed to be like pornographic. He like switches it right away.
It's obviously meant to be, and then Gary walks like, Gary, I was just looking for the sports game. He turns on the football game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, as a kid, you don't even think twice. But like, those guys in the writing room at Nickelodeon must have been cracking the fuck up. They must have been like, oh my God, this is hilarious. And these kids will never get it. Their parents will never probably even hear it. Yeah. And we obviously know the Easter eggs.
Yeah. And as you rewatch
are weaved, in between in the dialogue. It's just, yeah, man. I've been rewatching a lot of that stuff. I want to get into Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh wow, yeah. I don't think I was allowed to watch that when I was a kid because I would get freaked out. I would get freaked out with stuff. And so that one, like, my mom was like, "It's not even worth letting you watch this because you'll just freak out."
That one, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that one. I always remember the one episode as a kid. I don't know if you remember the barber.
I don't know about that
big
one.
smile. He's like he's like carrying the switchblade. He's like, "You're naughty" or some shit. Like, he would always say that one phrase. That shit freaked me out, man. He was creepy as hell. But it was such a great premise of a show. Like, just an elderly couple in the middle of nowhere, and they're always protected by their loyal dog.
Yeah.
I mean, what a simple, profound premise that just it hits right across. And like, it's just pretty crazy how so much amazing content when we were kids. I'm still going through cartoons. Ed, and Eddie.
God, it's so good. I feel like so many of those shows too. You kind of hit something right there where you were talking about. You're like, such a simple concept, but like it has such a profound going forward. But it's true because it's like a lot of those, like, they're very. It's like, let's take this. A lot of the great ones that you were just naming, like Courage the Cowardly Dog or SpongeBob or like. Just any of those, they take like like Rick and Morty, like is a modern one that's like kind of similar. It's like, let's take a very simple concept, a guy who is so good with science, and his grandson or whatever, and they're gonna travel through time and space, and like let's do as many different things with that one concept as possible. Like I love. And
that's just two of them.
Yeah, and I love creative things in general, but I feel like animation does this in such a cool way where it's like, let's create this box, and this is the box that we're gonna stay in. Like whatever it is, whether they're like BoJack Horseman, like, okay, we got like weird animals in Hollywood, where it's like
personified
animals, and like how many jokes and ideas and things can we do inside this box? But I feel like the idea of limitations, sometimes people don't like being limited. But I think the cool thing about those types of animations is like you have these limitations, but it gives you this room to play that's so much different because it's like, okay, I'm not going to pull somebody from the land into SpongeBob. That's just not part of it, right? Maybe in the SpongeBob movie with, Hasselhoff or whatever. But like the whole concept is under the sea, Bikini Bottom. Like, what can we make happen in this area? And it works, man. You just keep playing and playing. And Dexter's Lab, like the kid who's just smart with.
It has a laboratory.
But he's still a kid.
A laboratory in his bookshelf.
Yeah, man.
I mean, that's just it's priceless. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Dude, speaking of new age cartoons, modern cartoons, if you haven't watched F is for Family on Netflix.
I like Bill Burr, though, and I just realized he was behind that the other day.
Bill Burr, he's amazing in it. Yeah. And the whole series is great.
Okay. Yeah.
I think you should see it's fucking hilarious. Netflix hit it on the head with that one for sure.
In between the
awesome.
The Shuriken on Naruto, I'll jump into F is for Family.
Oh, hell yeah.
Every time somebody dies.
I was thinking about Rick and Morty the other day. You know what's funny? And I don't know if this is true, but do they not have a weird resemblance to Back to the Future,
so.
Marty McFly and Doc?
I think so. I think it's like kind of
So
undeniable.
yeah, I mean, now they just made them grandpa and
it's like
grandson.
Yeah, it's like filthy. It's like filthy. Back to the Future.
I guess
think.
I'm not crazy for thinking that.
No, I don't think
but
so.
Yeah, I always thought, I'm like, yeah, that's Back to this is Doc.
Yeah, it feels
Doc
like
and
that.
Marty.
Yeah. But it's like if Doc, because that's the thing too, is like Doc from Back to the Future had all these abilities that you're like, dude, this guy's basically like beyond Elon Musk status of like knowledge of science. You know?
Dude, Elon Musk, man.
Yeah.
This guy,
dude.
Speaking of him, he might go to Mars. I think he'll probably hit Mars.
I think he'll actually do it. I think if anyone's gonna do it, he's gonna do it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, to get to Mars, I was talking to my buddy Nick, and he was obviously giving. I mean, I had to learn more about it, but I mean, dude's like the modern day Iron Man.
Oh yeah,
this guy's like Tony Stark.
He's nuts. And the funniest part about him is like, so did you see the new shorts that he came out with? I thought
the new shorts, like
literally shorts, like booty shorts.
No.
So he. No. Dude, he is the best part that I love about him is he's Tony Stark level smart, but he's like trolling everybody. Like he created like red velvet booty shorts that spell out sexy on the back, but it's spelled yes, but it spells sexy with his Tesla model like he has a Model S, a Model 3, a Model X, and a Model Y. And like nobody probably put it together that literally spells sexy until he made booty shorts.
I'm
like this fool is troll. Like he is next level brilliant, but still has like enough presence of mind to troll us.
Like, dude, wow. That is insane. I did not know that.
Yeah, dude. I didn't know it either until I saw the picture, and it's like a real thing. Apparently they sold out, and like I fact checked it. I was like, oh my gosh, dude, that's so funny.
I gotta look this.
Like
I mean, to think about
the same that's gonna get us to Mars.
This dude made a reusable rocket, bro.
Dude, I don't.
It lands itself.
That's nuts. I didn't even know that.
I mean,
like, it's just he does too many things. There's no way to keep up with everything he does. Apparently, he's also in like neuroscience. Like he's gonna microchip people's brains. Like this guy does too many things.
I honestly think he might try to colonize Mars.
I don't know. I feel like if he does, it wouldn't be the worst thing. I mean, we're gonna have to do that kind of stuff eventually. Like
eventually, yeah, because humans don't know how to treat the planet.
True.
So
I mean,
I don't know. Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. Even if we did know how to treat the planet, like eventually we're just gonna outgrow this rock, dude. Like there's gonna be too many of us. We're gonna get too good at living for too long. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, that's true.
Even if we got rid of all the plastic and whatever, unless you sit there and pull a China, like everybody can only have one baby type thing, like.
Yeah, that's true. There is
get down with that.
There is a lot more people being born.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna have to go somewhere. We're gonna have to Star Trek.
I mean, to think about it, he's got pretty much everything he needs to go to Mars. Because what do you need to live on Mars? You need transportation. There's your rocket. You need renewable energy. There's the Tesla battery,
right? And the solar stuff.
And then you need. You can't live on the surface of Mars right away, so he'd probably live underground. Hence his boring.
Right, the tunnels under LA, dude. Did we just crack Elon
dude
Musk?
Literally can take his equipment to Mars, and he'll probably go to the fucking.
Dude, did we just crack Elon Musk right now? I feel like we just figured something out right now.
No, I talked with my buddy Nick. I mean, I got you guys. Oh man, I should introduce you guys. I was talking with him, and he also mentioned. I didn't know that Elon had. I didn't know that SpaceX was first. I didn't know that he had sold, like he had gotten like 250 mil off of PayPal.
Oh yeah,
I think he was set for life. Put all that into SpaceX, which was I think was flopping at that point. And then he developed the Tesla battery at SpaceX.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Then he took the Tesla battery, made Tesla, made all the money off Tesla, put half the money into SpaceX, and people are like, well, you probably shouldn't do that because SpaceX has yet to really do anything. He's like, haha, well, I'm Elon Musk. And
I just needed more capital.
Now he created a rocket, and NASA's like, hey, dude, can we can we help you? Because we haven't been up there for a while. I don't think so.
NASA's like, hey man,
it's crazy, dude. Yeah, I mean, when my buddy was like telling me some of this stuff, I was like, dude, what? This guy's I mean, I knew he was a gangster.
Oh, for sure. The crazy thing is, like, I wonder if that's an argument for, I'm getting a little off the rails, but I wonder if that's an argument for privatizing certain things. Because like you said, like NASA's like, hey man, we haven't gotten up there in a while, and like they're supposed to be the government. Like, who's supposed to have more resources than the government, man?
Yeah.
Some random dude comes through and goes, oh, I could do this better. Like, like why?
I mean, yeah, it's
like, I don't know, man.
I mean, it makes me cringe a little bit, to say the least.
But it's kind of scary too, because it's like I see both sides of that coin, right? Like one side of it's like, okay, well let certain people just do what they want to do, and let him go to space because he seems to be so much better at it than anybody else.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I think after a while, I mean, obviously he has a bunch of money, but I think if you have someone who's as innovating as him, you have to step aside, put the ego aside as, you know, a government organization and be like, hey, dude, you know,
you're just better.
You know, I want to, you're dope as shit. I want to join on this expedition.
Oh, dude.
Like, this is historic. I mean, a reusable rocket. That is
nuts.
It's funny because I thought I didn't really know the technology. I saw his tests and they weren't good, and I had kind of lost it in the news, and then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, it's ready to go.
Now it's working.
It just delivered 4 astronauts into space, and it's coming home. It's like, wow, like this guy moves fast. That's crazy. And did you see his did you happen to see his demonstration of his new Tesla truck? It was the one where he broke the window. It didn't really hold up. But eerily enough, does that not look like a moon rover or a Mars rover?
When you were saying
could you
that,
not see Elon Musk coming out of that thing, like on Mars, like the great big step for huge step for mankind or whatever, like you know, like on some crazy stuff like that. I mean, that looks just like it. It's
for insane, sure, dude. I don't know, man. It's one of those things where it's like you said, you want to be along for the ride of what he's doing. But then also it's a little spooky. It's like, where do we stop this guy? And can we even stop that guy if we needed to? You know, like if he's making reusable rockets, like what is like, and he's, I mean, have you heard of the Neuralink thing too that he's working on? That thing's nuts too.
No, I haven't. What is it?
So it's basically called a Neuralink, and essentially I've only heard a couple videos of him talking about it. Basically what it is that he's going to get it into people's heads. It's literally a chip, okay, that has wires that go into your brain. And he's going to get it into people's heads off of the guise of, it's not even a guise, like he's explained this whole process. He basically says that at first what we're going to do to get it into people, to do human testing, and he's like, we're almost there. Which that alone is scary. He's like, to get into human testing, basically, we're going to drill a hole in the back of your head. We put the chip in with the wires in certain parts of your brain. And the concept is that like it will help trigger certain parts of people's brains, and like people who are maybe like paraplegics or quadriplegics, like can't move their arms or legs, it will help them recover, right? It'll stimulate certain parts of the brain that as of before, because of whatever injury or illness or whatever they were born with, it'll stimulate that part that was maybe dormant, and it will help them regain feeling and possibly, he thinks, even walk again. Like literally get people who couldn't walk to walk again.
Wow, that is
right? And so
insane.
So and it doesn't even stop there. That's the crazy part. Is he goes, that's just phase 1. I'm like, what the frick is phase 2, bro? Like what is
what is phase 2?
So he basically goes,
do you know?
And that's what he said. So he's like, that's phase 1, and he goes, basically like the next steps would be like, you know, once we use it for strictly medical purposes, like helping people get it back, he's like, then we would open it up to like the private market of like people could just purchase it and put it in their head, and it would like essentially allow you to like communicate without words to people. So
okay, so he's pretty much
he's just gonna like Brave New World all of us, like just chip everybody, and like
he's pretty much like he's unlocking the human brain by not even unlocking it, just doing his own cheat code.
Doing his own cheat code.
I mean, when you think about it, it's kind of crazy to think. I was, I was kicking it the other day, but isn't it weird that as humans we can only use 10% of our brain?
Yeah, dude. I don't.
Like, what kind of weird, like condescending joke, like from the universe is that? Like, you guys are with 10%. You're teetering on the brink of a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
So with 100%, what
could we do?
What are you guys gonna do with all this knowledge?
It's true.
Like, it's interesting to think about.
I wonder if there's like a way to check how much he's using. You know what I mean?
That would be.
Like, is there a litmus test for like how much of your brain you're using? Because I imagine that guy's using most of his. I mean, and if he's not, he's also at 20%,
at least a couple percents higher than the norm. Like let's with 20% of his brain. But it's just funny that I wonder what capabilities as humans we would have if we unlocked 100%. I mean, if we did have 100% of our brain at that point, I believe me and you could communicate telepathically.
Right? You think?
Like telekinesis would be just a thing. I could pick shit up with my head. Like that would be we'd be like on the forms of essentially gods.
Basically X-Men at that point.
I mean, and with that power, would we know what to do? Like, how would we react? I mean, imagine if you could read someone's thoughts. And you are, you and me who, could be morally correct and ethical. There's a lot of people that would use that information not for good.
No, absolutely. And they would think they're using it for their own good. They're like, it's for the greater good. And we'd be like, I don't think it's for the greater good. I think you're just a perv.
I don't think so.
Dude, that's interesting, though. Because if we didn't all have that at once. Because you're assuming, like, there's no way for me to reject that person out of my brain because he evolved faster than I did or whatever it is. Like, I see what you're saying. Like, you would be
completely just almost unaware. Just you'd be I mean, at that point, they would be beyond anything we would be able to comprehend. If you could if you had that much brain capacity and those abilities,
there's so many...
I mean, you said the X-Men, but that wouldn't be far off.
But there's so many shows like the X-Men, and there's a show back in the day. It was really good. It was called Heroes. You ever watch that show?
Heroes. No, I did.
Got canceled. Don't know why. It was
like
really
I've
good.
Heard of that.
Yeah, it was really good, and it was like save the cheerleader, save the world, and it was just basically X-Men type concept where like certain people just evolved and had these powers, and other people didn't, and then there was this whole like underground government organization, which I think is pretty close to what would happen. Whereas like there was an underground government organization that was like monitoring people and like tagging them and going like, okay, this person is, has this ability, he can move stuff with his mind. This guy can read people's minds. And there was one guy who could stop time. And so that guy was like the guy they were always trying to catch because he's got too much power. Like, it's one thing if you got a healing factor, but like if you could stop time, that guy's got too much power. And it was funny because he was a pacifist. He never wanted to fight. Like, he was super like, I just want to live my life, but like the government was like,
leave me alone.
We can't leave you alone because you could kill everybody, so sorry. And like, just...
it's, man, I don't know. I was thinking about that the other day, and that's just, it intrigues me, and it's just interesting to think about that we have literally a huge portion of our minds that is very mysterious. I mean, to think of the things that we don't even know on this planet, a lot of the oceans on
the ocean. There's so much in there that we don't
unexplored. Many forests even in the Amazon that are unexplored. I mean, we think we know it all. I mean, we don't know.
True.
We have to show a lot of reverence, I think, as a species of as humans, just that we don't know it all. We're a beautiful species. We've done a lot of great shit, but there's things that we should all collectively try to come together to figure out.
No, but I love that mindset though, man. That's a great way to look at it though. Is like you're proud to be a human. You love where we've come, over time, and I agree with you on that. I really do. Like, but at the same time, it's like, like you said, there's so much. Like, we got to humble ourselves a little bit. Like, It's so weird because it's like we could do so much stuff, but it's also just like you said, it's like humble yourselves a little bit and realize like we know a lot, but we don't know that much. I mean, like this, like you said, there's stuff floating up from the ocean. Sometimes we're like, where the hell did that come from?
Exactly.
What kind of chupacabra thing is that?
I mean, you think, you know, I just, there was a time in my life where I thought that the world revolved around me.
Yeah.
And you know, I think as humans, we all hit that. There's the thing that, the big thing that affects us all at some point or the other, and that's the ego, you know, where you separate yourself from the group, and then we all suffer from that. But you have to have some sort of self-reflection. I think eventually you get tired of trying to have the facade that you are perfect and that you know, it's tiring. It's a tiring act. And when you have the ability to step back and just think of things in a different perspective, it's funny to think Galileo, you know, he was damn near executed for telling people that
the truth,
the planets and the sun didn't revolve around the Earth.
Yeah.
It's like, we revolve around the sun. We gain life and knowledge from different things and different aspects of life. So I like to think of that. I suffered very heavily from the ego early on in my life, and I'm not at all shed from it or whatever, but again, stepping back, man, it's all about stepping back and humbling yourself, because anything can change at any moment. And you just don't know. So.
What do you feel helped you like get through some of that? Because I feel like I definitely can relate to that, and I think that I still struggle with that sometimes. Like there's times where I feel like I have control over that, and there's times where I feel like I don't know, where I still struggle with it.
There's a lot of times where I don't have control over it. But again, I think it's the small admittance of just knowing that we're trying our hardest to get over that hump of being so self-centered. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not about, I used to think it was waking up and being like, it's got to be this, this, and this to be perfect. And it never works like that, as much as I want it to. So the small steps of admitting, like checking myself throughout the day, like, I'm irritated or I'm anxious or anything in those feelings that kind of draw back to you being outside of yourself and disconnected. It's just checking yourself, like, where am I? Where am I and what am I feeling? Okay, I'm feeling it and now it's over. I'm past that and I'm moving back into what I like to call the source, where you're just you're back present. You're in the present moment. You're connected to all things and especially yourself. So man, as humans, I think we all at one point and the other, it's not even a one-time thing. I mean, I've done the psychedelics and I've had those evolutions and early on it was like, okay, I did shrooms. This is it. I'm woke. Yeah. I'm woke. I'm evolved.
I've reached max level.
You're always a student. The teacher always is a student. You're never stop learning. And I thought, and that wasn't the last time I did psychedelics, but the experiences were now different after. I realized that it's a continuous battle to check yourself every day to realize that maybe you're not doing your best, and that in itself allows you to strive to be the best version of yourself. So,
yeah.
If that makes any sense. Sorry if I got to rant.
Not at all. You didn't at all. I was listening.
The ranting.
No, I like the perspective though, man. I was talking to
I appreciate it.
No, I was talking to Bella the other day. I love what you said about the student of life, and I think that's really true. I think once you stop learning and stop trying to grow, you start dying, really, to be honest with you. Yeah. And man, I remember I was talking to Bella the other day about I was a big fan of Jason Mraz back in the day. I don't know. I just liked his music. I liked his playing and stuff. Yeah. And one of the things that I remember reading one time, he was a lot older, but he lives in San Diego. So he would go out surfing. He was big in the music scene, so he never really went surfing in San Diego. But he wanted to get into it now that he had more time on his hands. So he would go out into the water, and he doesn't really know what he's doing. And he's like, I feel bad because there's so many of these, like, the surf culture down there is so huge. Everybody knows what they're doing, and like everybody's super like, they just know what they're doing. He's like, I feel like I'm getting in the way, and he would get in his head about it, right? He's like, I'm not good enough to be out here. Like I almost gave it up. He's like, but then he's like, I wish I could have just had like a sign out there and just hold it up and be like, I'm just a beginner. I'm just learning, And so he got this, and he's like, that applies though to, and he was talking about it in an interview. He's like, that applies though to to everything across the line. You know, it applies to like everything that I try to do now. He's like, just because I'm older and trying to get into this thing doesn't mean that like I can't, or I'm not allowed to learn. I'm not allowed to do this thing because I'm a little bit older.
Exactly.
So he got this tattoo right here. He said beginner, and he's like, now I literally have a sign that says I'm a beginner.
Wow,
I thought that was so cool.
Crazy. I like Jason Mraz, man. He's cool.
Yeah.
I like his music. I found him out. Have you ever heard of Raul Midden?
No.
He early on in his career, he collabed with him. He's a blind singer. He's awesome.
Oh, wow.
But that's where I found out Jason Mraz. But yeah, that's crazy. That's a
Beautiful little concept.
That's crazy.
Man.
I mean, that applies to everything, man. And again, that's just humbling yourself, and you can definitely have confidence and believe in yourself, but the minute you think that you have no capacity to gain more knowledge, that's where it becomes cockiness and egotistical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's how I think about it, at least. So.
Yeah. It goes into like that, just admitting that you might not, like you said, admitting that you may not know everything, that somebody might know something on a topic that you don't know. And it's fine if you know a lot about that topic and you can go back and forth on it. Like I would defer to you on anything that has to do with animation, because you're just gonna know more than me, you know. But if you also told me that animation just, you know, you just think about it and it appears on the page, I'd be like, well, I know that's not how life works. So, you know, like there's just, you know, like you said, the confidence and the confidence just and bloop. Just bloop. Yeah, dude. But, you know, I wanted to ask you some questions on that, because I thought that would be, as much as I love that line of thinking we were going down, but I really am curious about this. Is actually selfish part of the podcast.
No, whatever.
Because like I love animation. And I love, like we talked about, I love watching like anime and like and all sorts of different like animated stuff. And so I was always curious, like, what is the PEMDAS? What is the order of operations when it comes to like doing that? Because I don't, like, how do you obviously you probably start with a script, right? And then like, how do you?
Yeah. So just, I mean, honestly, I'm new to it too, man. So I just started with a script, and we actually, for this animated film, because Andy was kind of on a time crunch, and the cool thing about me and Andy, Andy the animator, I don't know.
That's cool.
It just has such a ring to it, right? Andy was able to, I'm very detail oriented. So he was able to catch my vision immediately. It didn't take much for explaining for me or different drafts for him to really kind of get it down. So we actually, how it's supposed to go is you're supposed to have the script, and well, even before script, a lot of animators like to go straight to storyboard. And I was just put on to storyboarding with my new storyboard artist that I'm working with for my new show that I was explaining earlier. So storyboarding is pretty much just obviously still frames of the scene. So you just draw out the different poses and the action, and underneath you would obviously add the dialogue to each slide, if you want to think of it that way. We ended up skipping that step, and from the storyboards, you would take the scenes that you want and the poses and whatnot, and you would now transfer them into what you would call an animatic. So this is just a black and white version of the film to show you the pace and the tempo and kind of the tone of everything, just black and white and all that. And how it would be when it's finished. And then when it's all good, you would color that. But we skipped the steps of the storyboard because he had got pretty much how I wanted it right away. We went right to the black and white animatic. And he kind of surprised me with that. I thought it was going to take longer. And this film, for 4 minutes, it took a year. So with the storyboards, it would have probably been another, obviously 6 months. And I had to rewrite. So we had that wasn't the original script. I had to rewrite the original script because me and my creative partners, we were not in agreement. Apparently it was a little too raunchy. So I had to go back and rework it a little bit. And Andy was actually working on that original script, and I tore it from his hands, and I was like, hey, there was a discussion, and now we have to do some changes, to do some alterations. So luckily he was able to get on his horse and switch all that around quickly in terms of rigging the characters and designing them. When I say rigging, that means literally like making them move, like beginning to make them move. So, we switched the script, and so 4 minutes took a year. I mean, you can imagine how animation, it does take a process. I mean, it's, I heard Bill Burr on an interview the other day for F is for Family, and they're like, oh my, a lot of his friends will come up to him, or strangers, obviously. They'll be like, oh my God, Bill, like, I love F is for Family. Like, this is awesome. Like, the season just ended, but like, when's the next one coming out? I hope soon. He's like, it's fucking animation. Like, it's going to take another year to piece all this stuff together. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of work, but I think it's a huge gain. I think, like you said, it gives you a lot of room to play with different things and styles and emotions and the cool thing I think about animation is that it's with live action sets, sometimes I feel like I look at an actor and I'm like, that's not even the character they're playing. It's Brad Pitt. Like, that's just Brad Pitt. Like, my mind will just go there. I don't know why it goes there, but with animation, you're forced to really dive into a full world of imagination. Someone else's imagination, other people's imagination. You don't have any room to think about anything else. I mean, other than voices, but your senses are so caught up in seeing everything and all that you're just not really. Yeah, you can notice that may be Bill Burr, but you're not like, I'm not picturing Bill Burr in this role. Because he really is embodying literally somebody else. Yeah,
your world building. I feel like.
I'm sorry to digress.
Not at all. Not at all. No, I asked you. I'm very curious, and I feel like that's super interesting and a good point that I intuitively thought about with animation. But it's very, very poignant that you said. It's like with anime, and that's one of the reasons why I think I like animation so much is that it's your world building in a way that is very unique. Where I mean, there's some super high production where you have like so much money that you can throw anything into CGI, type, when you have like, oh God, what is that? When you have real people in the film or whatever, live action.
Yeah, the live action. Even CG though is it's its own form of animation.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But to base it off of a real thing, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Whereas like with animation, like you said, you're building literally the whole world, and that's what's always impressed me about it. And that's one thing that I was a little curious in the process, because to me it's like when I look at, and it's funny because Bella, actually, I talked to her about this. Like, she's not always, I get her into animation, but that's not really her go-to. She's very like, she likes live action stuff. And I always found it funny because she is an artist. She can draw really amazingly, actually. It's pretty incredible. She can cartoon, she can draw really well. Awesome. She's just one of those people where like she oozes creativity. It's unfair. It's like literally anything she touches is like beautiful. I'm like, God damn it. Like it takes me years to do what you just did. And she just anyway. Yeah. But
I get you.
She's super talented with her artwork, and I go, babe, like how do you not like animation more? Because I'm like, when I look at it, like you said, it's world building. Like the fact somebody had to draw that backdrop, and then that backdrop has like moving parts in front of it. So then they had to draw those, and then each one of those things has to be individually moved or redrawn if he's turning. Like his body has to turn. Like,
Yeah. Yes. I mean, just the scenery. Something. I mean, the last season of Samurai Jack, is just it's beautiful. Yeah. It is just stunning. I mean,
it's like being inside of a painting almost. Like
it is like being inside of a painting. That is exactly what
it's like when you're playing Mario 64, where like you just fall into the painting and the little like.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Genndy, it was beautiful. I mean, and then it was a very bittersweet ending to Samurai Jack, but God, it's just such a truly captivating season.
Yeah,
it's just so mesmerizing. I love it. I learned a lot from his style and his ways, man. I would love to get in a room with him and just listen to him and hear his thoughts and throw ideas off his mind. I mean, that'd be awesome. But world building, man. It's just. That's what I love about animation. You're not dragging, but you're really ushering people into a brand new sense.
Yeah.
Something they've never seen before. Even like, I know we talk about CGI, but
Sure.
in terms of like, let's just say like Hey Arnold for example, that was the creator. I forget his name, but he was from Portland. So he designed a little of Hey Arnold. The city of Hey Arnold looks like Brooklyn and a little of Portland mixed together. But I think Brooklyn all the time. It's got the Brooklyn Bridge and all that. I mean, I think he added with a little more parts to be Portland, but I digress there as well. Regardless, even though that is drawn after Brooklyn, and I've been to Brooklyn, I still feel like when I look at his Brooklyn, I'm like, damn, I want to walk those streets.
Yeah.
I've never seen that Brooklyn.
That's a really good point.
I want to see where the Monkey Man lives in those back alleys and like the Stoop Kids neighborhood and Arnold's room that looks above a fictional New York City.
So true.
But regardless, it's still cool to just dive in. So it's just crazy to think that those are the emotions that come up when you see animation. Yeah. So I'm all excited.
No, I love it. That's what we're here for, is to get it. It's once more with feeling. So it's good. You have feelings.
Feelings.
Dude, but that's so true though. Is like even if it's very low fantasy to no fantasy. I mean, really, Hey Arnold, other than the fact that he has a football head, there's really no fantasy to that show. I mean, it's all real life action things that could happen in real life.
Oh, yeah.
And
what a good football head.
Yeah, man. Football head.
Football.
But yeah, man, it's like that's so true. It's like world building, even without the fantastical elements, is still really interesting. Like a good one anime wise that kind of does a lot of that. I mean, it has obviously has fantastical elements, but like Death Note, like you brought that up earlier. And
you've seen Death Note, right?
I've seen and read it. That's like one of my favorite of all time.
Wow, you would love my buddy Booby, man.
Heck yeah.
He reads all the
manga?
Yeah. He reads all of them before he watches the show. So One Piece, Bleach,
nice.
all that stuff.
Nice.
Yeah,
I can't say I do that for all of them, but that was one where I read it before they came out with the not live action, the animated one.
Okay.
And so I was reading it, and then they came out with the animated one. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll watch it now that I finished reading it. So that one I lucked out, but God, that one's great too. But for similar reasons, like it's very low fantasy. Oh, am I lagging?
No, I said such good writing.
It is.
Death Note is such good writing.
Dude, the writing on that is incredible because it
is ridiculous.
It again takes that one premise, it's a detective premise. It really is a detective show.
Yeah.
It's just a guy trying to catch another guy who kills people, but like the way he kills people is just like so impossible to catch, and it's just and it just evolves from there. But like, oh my God, that certain
that was chess.
Yeah,
that was some chess versus checkers.
That's exactly what it is. I love chess too. I love playing chess, and like it's like watching a chess match, like them going back and forth. It's so interesting.
Yeah, it was bad, man. It was a bad, and I say bad like
way.
Michael Jackson. Yeah, Michael Jackson. Bad to the bone. I mean, I actually want to rewatch it. I'm jumping onto Bleach right now.
Oh, okay. I just started that. I haven't watched it, but that's a classic.
Yeah, my buddy. And then after that, I think I'm going to segue over to One Piece. So got a few different ones I need to. I also want to try. I never watched Dragon Ball Z.
Me neither.
And
it's such a classic.
I feel like I should. Yeah. But my buddy, who again is the anime expert, Booby, he's like, you could, but I think there's other shows that are way more cool than Dragon Ball Z.
Sure.
So maybe I'll get to it.
Yeah, eventually.
I want to maybe.
There's some that are just daunting because they have so many episodes. It's like jumping into Game of Thrones right now, where it's like, I
tried when I was a kid, when we were freshmen in high school. He tried to show me Dragon Ball Z. The thing is, it takes like a whole episode for these fools to power up. It's like, I mean, dude, I don't know. It's like,
for a whole episode.
Yeah, it's like, and I feel you. Like, that's cool, like, on some episodes, because they really, like, go crazy. But it's like, whew, I'm tired, man. Like, I'm tired from you powering up already.
I'm exhausted watching you.
Yeah, I mean, like, how much chi do you have? Like, I don't understand. This is crazy. And I get that's the anticipation building, but, like, you can cut it a second or not a second, a few minutes
Same,
down.
man.
I mean, so that's one I've been dreading to watch because I know that those that style is big into anticipation. They really want you to feel anxious and what's going to happen next. But it's like we're wondering what's going to happen next for the last 20 minutes. I don't know what is going to happen next because I'm either going to fall asleep or he's going to attack, and that's what's going to happen next. Tune in next time. Tune
in next time to when I'm asleep and Netflix asks me if I'm still watching. Because
is it on? I wonder. Is it on Netflix?
Dragon Ball? I don't know, man. That feels like a big title for them to acquire. It might be though. It's like,
it is true. Yeah, I gotta figure out.
That's such an anime style, though. It's so interesting that it's very to that style. That there's always just this, like Naruto can be like that too, where it's like they're just talking about their past. Like I always thought that was hilarious in like fighting shows when like they're like literally fighting to the death. Like one guy's like beaten to shit, and like the other guy's like, yeah, I'm gonna kill you now, and it's just like, and he goes like, wait, let me tell you about why I draw strength from my mother. And it's like, what?
It's like, all right, like, let's draw this out a little longer.
It's like show his entire
Luckily,
backstory.
I don't think Naruto doesn't do that too much.
It's
I'm glad
just
about
tasteful enough. Where
sometimes I wish I could. I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. Sometimes I wish I was a shinobi.
Oh, dude.
Sometimes I just was up in the world eating ramen. I didn't know that. Do you eat ramen a lot?
Yeah, dude. There's a ramen spot in my house.
Do you know the Naruto ramen that he has on the show with that swirl in the middle?
Yeah.
Do you know that, like, in real life, that's a thing, and that came from Naruto?
No way, it came from Naruto?
Yeah, so
that's sick.
I don't even know what it is. I don't know what it is either. Potato. I don't know what it is. Like a radish. I don't know, but that swirl that you see on some ramen bowls, they adapted that from the actual series, from Naruto, like
that's crazy.
Eating ramen so much. It's crazy that they had like a little influence on the ramen.
Yeah. Anime,
and I learned that from I learned that from my buddy Booby, of course. Obviously put me on.
Dude, that's
nuts. Dude, Naruto, he's what a G.
What a G, dude.
What a G.
He's gonna be the 5th Hokage. I haven't seen him do it yet, but I know he's gonna be it.
That's on the new Naruto.
Shippuden?
The one after Shippuden. It's Naruto's son.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
Oh, what is it called?
Dude, that's the thing.
Maybe next gen.
Probably next gen. I watched it for so long, and then eventually it was one of those shows that went on for so long that I fell off of it just because life happened. And then, so I'm enjoying going back through it now. Where like,
so the next gen, my girlfriend is. It's funny, when I first started watching Naruto, she became me in high school, and she's like, "What is this? This is what is this? This is stupid." Swear to God, dude. She, from the months on, we actually had gotten into, like, I had gotten irritated with how much she wanted to watch it. I was like, baby, listen. And she actually ended up going ahead of me
amazing.
And finishing it because I wanted to take my time. I was just like, out of just like stubbornness and ego, I was like, you know what? I'm not watching it today. I'm like,
we're watching Downton Abbey tonight, babe.
Exactly. So she ended up finishing it, and she now started next gen. But she went back. This is how much of a fiend she is now. She went back and is now watching the first series and just started Shippuden over again while she's watching the next gen. I'm like, you're a fiend. You're crazy. That is crazy. So the thing about the next gen that I don't really necessarily like is that there's this technology involved that takes away from the
steampunk?
like the fighting and because obviously you had to, back in Shippuden, you had to train for your powers.
Right.
Now you're just like, you have a gadget on your wrist. Instead of like summoning some
frog from sheer power.
Exactly.
It's like you have
to you have a gadget that's attached to you. So it's more technology based, which I don't really necessarily like for the storyline. I like the ninja style and the old meditation ancient style that was implied versus this new one. So I mean, the new one, Naruto is the Hokage. So he's
makes it
now
after all
officially that. But I don't, and he's got his son running around.
Yeah,
but I just, there's something about, and even my girlfriend was like it's okay. It's not like the best, but Shippuden.
That's
the
what's
Shippuden series is just, oh man, it's unbelievable.
I'm excited to get there because the thing is like I'm gonna like I think I got all the way to Shippuden. I think I even watched some of Shippuden, but
it's right after the Chunin. You're about to, it's right
where,
after.
like Sasuke
so you're
tries
on the cusp of
to escape. Yeah, so like I watched all that, but I had to go back to the Chunin, like at least that far back, because I was just like, dude, like too much happened. Like this, it's one of those things where like too much happened for me to start in the middle, because I will just be like, who is this guy? Like what? Like
you have to like refresh your memory. I mean, that makes me want to go back sometimes and just, I mean, it's just such a great show.
Really is.
I can't believe how quickly and it's just funny that I denied it for years. I was like, this is the stupidest thing. I would make fun of my boy. I'm like, dude.
And now you're an animation creator.
And now I'm all about, anime, and it's ridiculous, man.
That's amazing. Well, dude, we're coming up on an hour, and that felt like 5 minutes. I can't believe it.
Oh wow, dude,
this was fun as hell. I had a great time.
Yeah, man. That has been a little over now. Yeah, we've been talking. This has been time.
Yeah, just over. Dude, is there anything else you want to plug? Obviously, I'll make sure I'll get all your socials and put all that below, and make sure we have everything like squared away when it comes to that. But is your new thing close enough? Are we still a year out from your new thing, or?
Yeah, I mean, probably that. This one I'm not going to create. The new thing I'm not going to create a short film for, because this one I really want to sell like as quickly as possible, because I just want to see this story on air. This is a perfect climate right now in our world to kind of get this story.
Cool.
And just a little glimpse. It's just something that I believe will help uplift the culture and bring more light to the culture of the Native American people.
Oh, wow. Nice.
And that's what brings inspiration from Samurai Jack.
Yeah.
Kind of like a little Afro Samurai, something, gritty tone of that, but a beautiful style of samurai. So in terms of that, I'll let you know when that kind of really picks up heat. But in terms of my social, if anybody wants to follow me, I _educatedfool. Yes, I am a fool and educated. So
that's like the beginner mentality, man. I like it.
Exactly, man. But I appreciate you for having me on, man. Regardless of promoting anything, it was just awesome talking.
Yeah, vice versa, man.
Cool to just, man. It's just cool to just converse and just be casual in conversation.
We gotta
catch up, man. Last time I saw you, I was in a drunken stupor.
Probably same. No, I think I was driving, so I was good. But
no, you were good. Yeah, you were the desi. You were the designated driver.
Yeah, man, we can't make it. It can't be another 3 years for the next time I talk to you. This is great. Somebody else I can actually talk to animation about.
Dude, I mean, hopefully, if you have any room in the future, I would love to come back.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely. I'll make sure everything's plugged below. I'll point people towards Forest Folly for now.
I appreciate it. Much love. Thank you.
Dude, I'm excited to hear what else you got going on. Forest Folly was hilarious, so I'd love to see you in a more dramatic setting too, and see what you can do with that. Especially since everything that you like is what I like, so I can only imagine that it's gonna be something pretty dang cool.
You know what I mean? I'm excited to talk more about the future and what we're both going to be doing. It'll be tight.
Yeah.
Like I said, hopefully you bring me back on and put 100%. Me back on the list of reoccurring guests. And
100%, super fun. All right. Well, we'll cut the podcast there. How's that? But
all right, dog. Yeah. Well, thank you for having me again, and I hope you have an awesome day.
Back at you.
Once more. With reading. Try that again.
Yo, you ever any luck in them dating apps?
I've had some. I did get to ride a Pegasus one time.
Yeah? How was that?
Well, it was fun until she suggested we started using toys.
Yeah, some people are into that. Cuffs, whips, chains, all kinds of shit. Just the other day, this bald eagle asked me to shave her head. Don't know why. She really didn't even have nothing up there.
Nah, but only she wanted to poke me with her horn and turn me into some kind of Sasquatch kebab.
Jeez.
Well, what about you? You ever been on any of these apps?
Psh, me? Nah. Mac like me don't need any of that. You know I keeps a flock.